My name is Matt Dreher, and I'm a filmmaker. So I got started in filmmaking, I think I was about 6 years old. I was actually recently looking at my dad's old VHS tapes. I don't know if any of you know what a VHS tape is, but I was 6, grabbed the camera, and I was filming him knocking icicles off our back porch. And from literally that day on, I feel like I was always at home making crazy videos of who knows what. Even throughout elementary school and high school, it seemed like any project I ever had to do, I would try my hardest to make it into a video. So English class, math class, I would always be making these crazy videos. And then in college, I actually went to be an elementary school teacher, and same thing. I just kept making all these videos, and someone actually said, "Why don't you just make videos for a living?" And it kind of dawned on me. I said, "Yeah, maybe I should do that," because it's always just been a passion of mine. Yeah, so I was very fortunate. I met a guy at Robert Morris called Nazari Megatron Dorosh. A lot of you are on RMU, I'm sure you know who he is. But he had an internship with the University of Pittsburgh and was able to get in with them right out of college. So I was good friends with him. He was able to bring me on a couple of shoots. And the good thing about filmmaking is whenever you get like your first good shoot and your first good video, you can start showing that to people, and then it just kind of takes off from there. So luckily I was able to be a part of some cool projects with him at the University of Pittsburgh. And then just from there, it's kind of one after the other. Once you get another good one, then you can show that to some more people. So it just kind of took off from there. Ever since I started pursuing filmmaking full-time after college, I have been heavily invested in the Canon C series. So the C100, the C200, C300, C500. I've actually been fortunate enough to work with all those cameras, and I own most of them. So there's a couple reasons why I like the C series. The first is it's super lightweight, and I do a lot of live events like weddings or highlight videos where I'm running around all day, typically with my glide cam, and I need a camera that's compact and lightweight. So the Canon C100 was my first camera ever, and it gave me just that, a lot of lightweight. And the other thing I loved about it was it had dual autofocus. So if I'm run and gunning, like I typically do, I'm running around with my glide cam, I can be sure that I'm gonna get the subject in focus because it has this autofocus I can just flip on real quick. Now the other thing is that the other thing I love about the C series is it's phenomenal in low light. Again, with me doing a lot of live events, I can't always be sure that I have, a C-stand with 4 huge lights to light the subject perfectly. Sometimes I have to rely on natural light. So the C series really holds up well in low light. So the compactability, the autofocus, the lightweight, and the tremendous ability to shoot in low light is kind of the reason that I've chosen the C series, and it's never failed me so far. Owning my own production company has been a huge blessing for me. What I like most about it is it gives me the complete creative freedom on all my projects. I can put my own spin and my own vision on them, and that is what I've longed for ever since I've kind of pursued filmmaking out of college. The other cool thing is I've had some awesome experiences, like with NFL Films, with Joe Simon Wedding Films. I've had some really cool opportunities that I would not have had otherwise if I didn't have my own production company. I started filmmaking as a die-hard Final Cut user, and it took many years and many people trying to pry me off of Final Cut to finally use the Adobe Suite, and I could not be happier. I use Adobe everything for any single project, and I absolutely love it. I think I would say my favorite type of video to make would be one that I have a lot of control over, especially a lot of creative control. And I love to be at like an event like a wedding or like a football game where my task is to take what's going on and compact it into a nice, polished 1 minute, 2 minute piece. I feel like that's where I can be the most creative, make it the most engaging for my audience, and really kind of make it larger than life, make it seem better than the actual event. My advice for any up-and-coming filmmaker would be right out of the gate just to say yes to everything. Whether you get paid or not, I would just say yes to it. There were often times right out of college where I had to do some less desirable jobs that I had to just say yes to, and I didn't even get paid to do it. But what that did was show that I had a passion for it, and it let me rub shoulders with a lot of my future clients. So I would say yes right out of the gate. Another reason is you get a lot of hands-on experience in the field, which it was great to be in the classroom to learn, how to light a subject or rule of thirds, but when you're actually in the field dealing with the elements, I feel like that's when you learn the most. So I would just say yes to everything, grind it out, and you will not regret it.
Hi, my name is Davey Melder. I'm a TV video major and I make short films. I got into filmmaking at the age of about 15. I started filming my video gameplay and making YouTube montages and such, and then I started filming my friends and found out that it was a very good and fun hobby that I enjoyed doing, and it just took on from there. My favorite types of videos to make are just the fun times that I have with my friends. I like just recording random stuff that we do and making little montages and short videos of just us having a good time and having fun. I did get education before pursuing this professionally. I went to Pittsburgh Technical Institute in 2012 and graduated 2014 with multimedia video in 3D. My editing platform of choice, I like Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas Pro, I grew up with it. That's where I started learning how to edit and stuff. Once I went to school for it, I went more for the Adobe Premiere. So Sony Vegas is my main choice, but Premiere's a close second. There's a lot of stuff in Premiere that I don't like. It doesn't flow correctly for me. Like Premiere, there's some things that if you do one way in Premiere, it takes like so many more steps in Premiere to do than it would in Sony Vegas. And I just like the easiness and the flow, and I like the effects in Sony Vegas a lot more too than Premiere. I pretty much just got into motion graphics because in school, when they taught us, it was something that caught on really quick, and it's just something I was good at, and it's mainly the reason why I specialize in motion graphics. My style, I really like fast-paced kind of music video kind of stuff. I like having music I like having my video go along with music and like having like a fast-paced kind of flow with it. That's why I like shooting in 60 frames per second. So I get that flexibility of slowing down if I wanted to, speeding up, having like very dramatic kind of shots with it. Any advice I'd have for fellow aspiring filmmakers, I'd say experiment a lot more. Like experiment with color grading, experiment with motion graphics if you're not really familiar with it. If you're not familiar with being behind the camera, try actually being behind the camera, getting that experience. I feel like the more well-rounded you are, the better the final product would be.